is Jared Miller. This is Ariana. That's Raymond, Tabor, and our mentor David. And we developed the LFC application for low fishes and computers.
So Lowe's Fishes and Computers is a nonprofit organization who basically dedicated themselves to finding old computers, fixing them up, and then supplying them to low-income families, and then trying to teach them the basic skills to use them.
So our client approached us with the need for an application that would reach low-income families that don't have a computer but do have an access to a smartphone. And the app would be available for free for anybody who needed it on an Android app store. And the main reason they wanted this was because training, it takes a lot of time and a lot of money, and the volunteers just don't have a lot of that. So it's easier for the organization to train the volunteers to teach the app rather than to teach each of the basic important topics like fixing your basic computer problems, removing viruses, or basic internet searching. And excuse us while we start our application. So here's our loading screen. You can see the lovely logo of Lowe's Fishes and Computers. One of our main problems, or not problems, but objectives was to have the app in 2 different languages, because a lot of Lowe's Fishes and Computers clients are Spanish speaking. And so our main screen for both English and Spanish looks a lot like this. On the bottom we have a help and an about button, as well as on the top our main how-to button. And if we go back to the English version, we'll continue in English so that everybody can understand what I'm talking about. But again, you see the help and the about, and then I'll pass it off to David for the how-tos.
Awesome. So as you've seen so far, obviously we tried to keep this as simple and straightforward. These are people who don't know how to use computers. So, adding lots of buttons and options are simple. At this point, they've hit English. Now they click how-tos. And Lowe's Fishes and Computers gave us 5 how-tos to start with. And they were like, these are the 5 questions that we get all the time. And so the idea was to feature those prominently: removing viruses, cleaning up your computer, guarding children from adult websites. They're all right there, easily clickable. But that being said, though, they gave us 5, we knew they'd want more. So we focused on building this from actually a database running within Android. So whether there's 6 right now, they can add 7, 8, 9, and this will just scroll and allow you to pick whatever you need. And then likewise, if you jump into remove viruses, the actual help screens are split into hopefully easily digestible sections with next buttons at the bottom. So you have introduction, and then you can start working through the steps to remove viruses from your computer. If the content gets a little bigger, you can see that it scrolls there a little bit and whatnot. But the idea is to try and make this simple and easy to do. If we jump back to help topics, this one happened to have 3 slides. If you click the 3rd one, guard children from adult websites, this had a lot less information. So there's no previous next button. You get all the information kind of in one easily digestible screen. And then the second level that we implemented here is beyond just having an Android database. When the app is open, so all that splash screen is showing at the beginning, the system's actually connecting over the internet to a web service, getting a JSON string that outlines all of the help topics, and loading that into the database. And so this gives them the option that they can have a web system that they can be adding the help topics, they can be changing the information, and updating the app as they go.
So going back to our main menu, we'll explore those last 2 very still important but less so buttons. First we have the help. We wanted to be able to connect the app back to the organization itself. So in the help menu we will have, sorry about that, we have their phone number, their email, and a lot of 5 icons that the user can click on. One would be the phone app to call, and if you click on it, it'll call the organization straight away. The email will bring up your web browser with, oh, there you go. It'll bring up the email, your personal email, and then you can go to the Facebook, Twitter, or web pages. The About page just has the basic information of the organization, location as well as a less prominent but still important donate button for those who have needs. So, and that's about it. Any questions, please?
How did you do the bilingual languages?
That
Did
was
you do translation?
Yes. We had a great client who got all the information translated for us. We also used a little bit of Google Translate and freetranslation.com. But the bilingual was one of our big issues, and we ended up having, we still have to connect the Spanish version. We focused on the English version, but of the how-tos, the rest of it works.
Yeah, and for the how-to side, basically when the articles or the how-to sections are added, you can pick whether it's an English how-to or a Spanish how-to. And so then that gets passed through the database. So as we load the English side, we only load the English how-tos. And then likewise for the Spanish, we only load the Spanish one.
And right now the data's there, it's just not connected to the button right now. So the data is already there, it's just we didn't have time.
So the database is running on the phone?
There's two databases, which makes it a little confusing. So there is a database running on the phone, and so as you're navigating the app, all the information's on the phone and ready to go. There's a second database living on the web system, which will be the one that the client can actually update.
Did you do both, or did the?
I did both. It's running on my web company's hosting right now, so it's a little rough, but it works.
Which database? What database software are you using?
It's running. SQLite is on the phone.
Is on the phone?
Is on the phone.
And
It's
server
on
side?
MySQL server on the server side.
And the other language, like everybody else, was Java and XML for the design.
So how did you sync up the two databases? Can you give me a little insight into your database design?
Absolutely. Yes, so there's kind of two steps we did. So the first step was that, and I think this is what's actually currently running. I'm not sure if the second level we got to. But right now when the app opens, it basically just empties the database that if there is one, and then grabs all the how-tos and loads them in. And so the database is pre-sorted into basically a table with just can you click how-to? Basically just the title information and the language. And then there's a subtable that has each step. So kind of each screen that you'd see if you click one. And so all this information just gets passed and sorted into the local table using JSON, which is just kind of an easy
So
thing.
if I just open up this app, did it take a while before the database is populated and I'm actually able to use it? Did you think about latency?
Yeah, and so the second level that we would be going for is the database includes like last updated strings, so that we can check instead of being like, give me all the data, because especially when you get, if you have 50 how-tos, it would be a long time. So instead we want to then be checking on the last updated, so like the last time this phone downloaded the database was 10 minutes ago, and so it'll pass that time to the web server, and then the web server will only pass back new information. So that should fix the latency issue.
Does the donate button work?
Yes, it doesn't actually go to a PayPal account. It goes to the donate page of the Loaves, Fishes, and Computers website. But I believe if you click on it, it should go to the website itself on the browser. Yes. So you can become a techie today.